UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. I'm Mike Boroff.
I'm Richard Catterjohn.
Oh, I did it right for the start this time. Man, Rich, good to see you. How's everything been?
Good. Busy this week. Just a bunch of stuff going on.
That's awesome. With everything going on, it's nice to have something to do. I remember a time when it was just like, man, I don't want to be busy, but now, like the last year or so, it's just like, God, I really need something to do. A lot of schoolwork and stuff going on.
Yeah. This week was a little light. It was. I think technically we have Monday off because it's President's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of made our workload a little lighter this week, and then we get heavy again starting next week. So
that's cool. Oh man, here we are again, Rich, doing an episode, and it's been kind of hard like the last few months. That was like WandaVision has been the saving grace where it's just like something to talk about. And the one bummer thing that really bummed me out this week was the one less thing we had to talk about was there was no episode of Batwoman.
Correct.
That was a bummer, but I did get to watch the first episode of the new season of Black Lightning.
Oh, did you catch that? Yeah, I started it. Yeah, I know. It looked great.
God damn, that show. Look, as far as like superhero shows go, man, that one is like the one that's like the most grounded in reality. Yeah. I mean, watching that one, you're kind of like, you see big aliens blowing up buildings, it doesn't even faze you, but when Black Lightning touches on, stuff that's actually happening, you're kind of like, ooh. But it was phenomenal. He's great. His daughters are really coming into their own with their powers, and then now the moms kind of got power, and we never even got a chance to talk about that before because we didn't really mention Black Lightning. But seeing Wayne, whose line is it anyways, Brady, be a heavy villain, we never talked about this, man. That was. Man, I thought that episode that he dropped in on Key and Peele where he played like the gangster version of himself, I thought that was out there. But man, seeing him play a heavy, even if it was a little bit like the Purple Man from some of our favorite Marvel shows, but. No, the season premiere was really good. He's dealing with the death of one of his closest friends, and we're seeing a superhero with like real life problems. His marriage is on the rocks. He's drinking a little bit too much, and then I mean, it is.
It's really grounded in that reality. It's sort of like how the Netflix Marvels were like really in the,
Exactly. Yeah. Of all of the CW shows and a lot of the superhero shows, like this is like the most like Daredevil, like the street level,
right?
I mean,
Arrow had its moments, but it was always a little over the top, though. It always seemed like to me.
And the other thing that it lacked too is I'll just come out there and say it is Oliver Queen didn't have the same problems that Black Lightning has, and it was phenomenal, and I was really happy to see the show come back, and it made it, recent news that it was going to get not canceled, but it was like the last season,
Right.
that much more of a bummer.
I'm hoping maybe they can use some of the elements into the other series. I just hope they just don't eliminate it. Just like Arrow, they're bringing some of that elements into some of the other shows. So I hope they can do the same thing. I still would like to see maybe the daughters pop up somewhere else, or something.
Yeah.
Not pop off, pop up.
Yeah.
Language, sorry.
Well, with the temper that the one daughter has, Thunder, pop off isn't too far off, man.
I would like to see a Batwoman team up. That would be pretty cool.
Oh God, yes.
Because Batwoman's kind of on that grounded level, but yet it's still over the top. So
yeah.
Maybe that's the crossover they should do next.
Well, especially since it's the
street level, because they took Batwoman back to the street level with the new Batwoman. It's more on the street level. When it was the other Batwoman, Kane, Kate Kane, that upper class sort of that went on this sabbatical and stuff. So that was a different Batwoman, and this is a different Batwoman, and I think she has more street cred. You know what I'm saying?
We have a Batwoman that was literally living in her van,
right?
Living on the streets. She's on parole. She can't find a job, and The only downside is I could see Ryan Batwoman. I could see her be like, when she goes to Freetown, I'm staying here. There's a lot of shit wrong here. Gotham's jacked up, but this place, you're absolutely right. I would love to see that cross. I would love to see the dynamic between Ryan and Black Lightning's daughters. That would be, oh my God.
But well, the CWs are back. I mean, the superhero shows are back. So, in the next few weeks, we get rest of them start rolling out, and then hopefully eventually we'll get Supergirl. That's still pending when that's going to come about. So,
yeah. And I'll say it again. I mean, as much as I, love Flash, the one I am ridiculously excited about, the one that I can't wait for, is Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. I almost forgot about them. And I was reading an article, I can't remember where, but it's been kind of confirmed that now a lot of this stuff is moving over to the HBO Max now. How they're putting stuff together, that is actually one big multiverse now. Anything can happen. They were actually throwing that out because now I think what's going on is they're seeing what Disney's doing with Marvel on their Disney Plus. So now I have a feeling that they're going to start, this could cross over with that and vice versa, and there'd be the multiverses and stuff,
Because I'm excited about that, because I just one time because her character is building up to it, and I'm apologizing for it in advance. I just want to hear Sarah Lance one time, motherfucker, just like that too, because even Mick Rory, if like Mick never swore, I would buy that, but Sarah Lance has been to the brink of just being over everything and frustrated. Just one time, I want to hear her do a real life.
And if they really do that, maybe they could use that show as a linchpin. That could be like the Crisis type thing, where their ship could wibble wobbly somewhere and pop in. You can see, Wonder Woman from that universe. I know they just canceled the Wonder Girl. They were originally trying to get that out there, and that's been nixed now. So I just have a feeling the CWs aren't going to last that much longer.
I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right that shows like that are, especially DC, are going to go the Disney Plus route and
straight to HBO Max, because they already
Yeah.
got like what, Green Lantern in production, Constantine in production, and something else. I know they just announced that Velma is going to have her own series because the one actress is going to be involved with that.
the one from The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
I
about.
went
Yeah,
blank. I even had that
Mindy
up.
Kaling.
Yes,
Mindy
yeah.
Kaling.
Yeah, that looks fun. You know, that's what I mean. I know that's not quite with the Warner, but who knows, that could cross over. I mean, what if the animated stuff could cross over? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Legends of Tomorrow would be that show too. And you know what Legends would do? They would go through some wibbly wobbly hole. I'm telling you right now, I could see them ending up in the Batman the Animated Series universe with Kevin Conroy. You know, like first they look around and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm animated. I'm badly well, I mean not badly, but you know,
Yeah,
to them they're like,
yeah.
I'm badly animated. Like what? Then they hear the music, da 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 da. Like, why is everything so dark? It's like they drew it on black paper. You know, Easter egg for everybody. But I could see them doing that.
You know, I don't know. With that little bit announcement this week, I really can see, you know, the HBO Max becoming that portal for all the Warner Brother. I mean, I should say DC universe now. You know, whatever they're going to do.
Because Richard, in a dream universe, this is what it would be like. The main writers and the producers of Legends of Tomorrow sit down with the HBO Max people, and the Legends of Tomorrow people are like, so you know the show, you know what we're about. What can we do? And I just want to see the HBO people go, whatever you want.
That'd be crazy.
Oh my God.
Well, you know, they let Snyder do his cut, so who knows what they're going to do? Because we get a trailer tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. I was trying to remember. Everybody's like, it's like, oh, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and I'm like, it's trailer day. Take your chocolates, go over here. I want. Oh my God. Because what was it? It wasn't a meme. It was a meme, but it made me snicker. Is they showed two pictures side by side, and the one is of Superman in the black suit with his eyes, you know, lit up, you know. And then on the other side, it was the badly CGI'd Superman face where they hid the mustache,
Oh
and
yeah,
somebody wrote above it,
yeah.
"It's the same movie." Like, how is this the same movie?
Yeah. Did you like that little glitch of Superman I did this week?
I did. I appreciated that one. That was dope. I like that one a lot.
It was weird how I got his eye to light up with that S. I go, whoa, did that just do that? Because I have this little thing where I kind of pinch stuff and it makes things move around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it created that S, and I go, that looks crazy. So I just left it like it was, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
But we got another trailer this week, last Sunday during the Super Bowl.
Yes. Oh man, the trailer we've been waiting for since WandaVision came out. It was like it filled the vacuum of anticipation. And that was the Falcon and the Winter Solider. Damn. No, you don't understand. They put that trailer together so well because we got to see Sam and Bucky interact in the exact way I wanted to see Sam and Bucky react. The staring contest. Are you guys having a staring contest? And they're both just like, both of them. God damn it, man. The one question I hope they really answer, I don't know if it was just like a trailer thing, but in that first little snippet we got where it seemed like Sam was it seemed like he was getting the shield. Remember they showed him at like the museum or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, he didn't have to get the shield. Like, Cap literally went here.
Yeah.
This is
You never know.
yours.
You never know, something might happen though. The government might have stepped
True.
in, try to say it was their shield or something.
Yeah. But that trailer looked man, that trailer looked awesome.
It did have that buddy cop feel though too.
Yes, it did.
I know we were. I was talking to Amanda the other day about that, and she's a little optimistic because she really don't like buddy cop style movies. But I think it's going to be pretty cool because I like Bad Boys and stuff. I went the newest Bad Boy was great. That new one that just came out. I really enjoyed it. I actually saw that at the theater before the plague hit. So because that was one of the last movies I got to see.
And what's good about it is putting the two of them together isn't forced. It wasn't like they put them together for the show.
Right.
We saw them interact, Civil War, we saw the friction between the two of them years ago.
Yeah. And then they got that connection with Steve Rogers. So, see, I'm still thinking, there's been talk that, what's his name is going to come back as Cap. To me, this might be a way for them to bring Cap back in too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because putting them two together and stuff, maybe they're going after some kind of de-aging super soldier formula or something,
Or even, I mean, let's think about it. It's Marvel, and I'm a Doctor Who fan. Yeah, we saw old. Well, here was the thing, Richard. I just figured it out. No, you literally just saw the connection being made. Because remember how one of the jokes that went around was that when we saw Cap at the end of Endgame, he was older.
Right.
But the thing about it is, though, he had the super soldier serum that, like, even in the comic books was established that it really slowed his aging down.
Right.
Maybe the reason why he was so old, hear me out, Rich, just complete theory, they found a way to go back in time again, look, you're married with Peggy, cool, we're not going to interfere with that, but we need you for a little bit. We'll bring you right back.
Oh, yeah.
So they pluck him out of the timeline. They go have their, amazing trio adventure. A few years goes by, maybe.
Yeah.
Plunks him back at the exact moment he left.
Right. There could be a couple of, anything. And what I like is, Sharon Carter's character, she's coming back. So is she Rogue too? Because that T-shirt that dropped at Hot Topic had her wanted and had the picture of her and stuff. That looked really cool. So I'm trying to think, is she part of whatever's going down, on the run or something? May have to help her, or is she being? See, what I'm thinking is Zemo is like infiltrating the government now. And like the Thunderbolts is going to come out of this because that's what a lot of people was speculating. And to me, maybe that's what's going on,
And I'd heard speculation too, Richard, that we might not see a return of Captain America, but Captain America wasn't the only persona that Steve Rogers.
The Nomad, yeah.
Nomad, and even like U.S. Agent, which was.
That was a different character, so
that was a different character, but he did wear that suit for a while.
Yeah, he wore that other style with the black and the flag and stuff. I mean, that worked out pretty good because that was what the West Coast Avengers and Wanda killed him, right? In that storyline.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, because she killed him, Scott Lang, and somebody else, the Vision or something like that. Yeah. I can't try to remember how that all went down. It's been
no. It wasn't Scott. It was his daughter Casey.
Oh, I'm thinking probably the old one where she was mentally insane. Where she really killed all those ones and stuff. Yeah,
right.
And then they had to bring them back, and when Doctor Strange intervened and all that good stuff.
This is exactly why, Richard, when I talk to like non-diehard comic book fans who were fans of the movies, which we have nothing but love and respect for, who are under the impression that, now that these movies are done and over with, it's like, oh, they've run out of ideas. And people like us are like, dude, they haven't even scratched the surface yet, man. Are you kidding me?
No, and they could even go in different directions too. As far as I'm concerned, they could actually create something brand new. What do you have to just steal from the comics all the time? Create something new.
And the one thing, Richard, that I was really excited about this week is I saw more behind the scenes pictures of I'm going to say it right, Haley Seinfeld as Hawkeye, as Kate Bishop.
Oh,
dude, I'm telling. Oh man, I am ridiculously excited for Hawkeye, and I get the.
Yeah, I was just saying there was a bunch of that. Someone even spliced some of that footage together and made like a little commercial, like a bootleg commercial. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything official yet, Richard, but I really get the feeling that the Hawkeye series is going to take place shortly after Infinity War. And we're going to see what happens to Clint after the snap, but before he becomes Ronin.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It would make perfect sense because, Clint knows that, or he would feel that the world needs a Hawkeye. The world needs an Avenger, or something along those lines, but he can't be that anymore. Daddy wants to kill some bitches, But I found this girl, we don't know for the show. I know her or just from the comic books, but he trains her, and like, I'm training you to become Hawkeye, so I can go do my thing and kill Yakuza.
We got a viewer that's got a question. Yeah, Hawkeye does become Ronin, but what we're talking about is we're speculating that the Hawkeye series may take place before he becomes Ronin.
Right. That this again, we don't know. It purely speculation. This is what I would love to see, is that the events that take place in the Hawkeye series with Kate Bishop takes place shortly after the initial snap. Clint's family's gone. He's, because we've seen from WandaVision and the other shows that they're not sticking to a linear timeline right now. It's not like everything that happens.
Yeah, because Spider-Man takes place 3 months after they come back, and after the funeral. So WandaVision's taking place just 3 weeks afterwards. So I don't think they're going to be going in any certain order anymore. So
right. So exactly, like the events that may happen in Hawkeye could be months or even a couple years before the events of WandaVision.
Right.
But I would like to see that Clint, shortly after his family's been snapped away, that he takes, much like the comic book, he takes on Kate Bishop as a protege to carry on the Hawkeye name. And then we see maybe, in a background story, him slowly progressing. We get to see how and why he turns into Ronin.
Good. That's what I'm thinking too, because that'd be really cool to see. Because maybe he starts training her, passes on the arrow, the arrows in the bow to her, and then he goes off on his own because maybe something even more terrible happens.
Yeah, which is why when we see Hawkeye, when we see Clint as Ronin, there's no bow and arrow, nothing of the sort. It's purely, the sword and the martial arts.
Right.
Because he's given up the life of Hawkeye. Because to him, Hawkeye the Avengers are dead.
Yeah. And we got our viewer asking another question. Maybe I don't know enough, but I thought WandaVision seems a lot like House of M. That's what we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Yep. Stay tuned. Yeah. But it's kind of like what you said, Richard. the comic books are a great source material, but not strictly. They're not, following the storyline exactly, but it's got that same feel to it.
Right. And that's what I think's going on in WandaVision. We might as well just slide on into WandaVision. I actually called it about maybe Petro not being really from the multiverse, and I was talking about that last week,
Yep.
and I still think he might be the devil in disguise. And there's a lot of people thinking that now because he was really tormenting Wanda.
He was asking it. It was almost like, too, Richard, I think everything, again, my opinion, my feeling is like everything that's happening, a lot of the stuff in the background is her subconscious breaking through.
Yeah, spoilers, everybody. We're kind of we always spoil. We forgot to say at the beginning. Sorry, folks.
Because it ties with my theory that the man and the woman from the commercial, I still feel we're going to find out. I would like to find out that is her mom and dad, which is why they're not in the town. She hasn't brought them back to life.
Right.
But it's like her subconscious manifestation of her parents.
Yeah, I've been even hearing a lot of people think that's the different gems too now. Because each one is picking up a little bit of each one of the gems. Because, if Steve Rogers did put all the gems back where they're supposed to be, so why couldn't the Vision's gem be somewhere?
It would. Yeah.
If they're putting them back, if he went through time and was putting everything back where they're supposed to be.
Jesus, Richard, you're onto something. Because wait a minute. They basically plucked the Mind Stone. Sorry, bad pun. Plucked. No, they plucked the Mind Stone from current, like their moment in time.
Right. So why didn't they just return it?
Well, if they did, here's the thing that we haven't seen that yet. We saw her go after Vision's body. Who's to say she didn't find out where the Mind Stone is? Maybe that really is the Mind Stone. It's not a construct of her imagination. Maybe it truly is the Mind Stone, which would explain why he has free will, or she's muddled with his mind.
Yeah, I was thinking about that all week this week. I go, the stones are, because someone was talking about the stones, and I go, yeah, they put them all back, and then just like now, with the hex and everything. What'd you just think of?
That would explain, Richard. Wait a minute, hear me out. That would explain. Oh no. I'm on board with it being the actual Mind Stone. Because think about it. Remember how Vision touches the dude's head and
right?
Where the shit would that be an android power? Why would that be an android power? That's a Mind Stone power.
I think I think everything's going to be kind of correct, because I think with the hex, and it has to be maybe within that field, and how that's. A lot of people now are saying that because when the dome breaks, it goes off and creates the mutants, because it's been disrupting Monica's DNA, because she's been through the shield twice, and and Darcy stops her and says, if you go back through, we don't know what's going to happen. So now is that the House of M, as our viewer was pointing out, CWN 18, was pointing out that House of M. And I think this could be part of the House of M thing. If the shield would break or become something.
It won't even have to break, Richard. We saw at the end of this last episode her expanding it. We have no idea how far the expansion is going to go.
Right. But I just see it busting open, and all that energy is going to be released.
Right.
And you have the cosmic rays, Fantastic Four, all the good stuff, But I could be overthinking that too,
But really, Richard, think about it. At the end of the episode, when she expands the hex field, we have no idea how far it's going to expand. Let's just, Richard, for the sake of argument, say North America. Right. Now we have a North America that is the MCU version of House of M.
Right.
Because think about what's going to happen when that field crosses somebody like Scott Lang or
I just want to see what it does to Darcy.
oh my god. Oh fudge. I love her so much.
And they were talking, on how I always look ahead on IMDb. They were actually saying Geraldine's back. Monica will be playing Geraldine again in this week's episode coming up.
It makes complete sense because if they didn't
back in,
well, it's not even so much a matter of getting back in. If she's expanding that field, like we don't even know if the director that was fleeing the scene, we don't know if he escaped.
I'm pretty sure they all got out myself, but
But the thing about it is though, Richard, we didn't see the field end.
Right.
We saw it expand, and then the episode.
But story-wise, that would follow his douchiness, if that's such a word.
No,
that he abandoned all of his team. He's that leader who pushes the pawns out in front of the firing squad and leaves.
Well,
that just cared. I think he's that way. I think because there's talk that he's going to be. Well, they were even talking about they're building Sentinels. They're getting ready for some kind of because he does not like superheroes. Basically,
right.
That's come out that he doesn't like superheroes even in this. So is he building up to get this government sanction that not necessarily just after the mutants, but after superheroes themselves? Is these,
because he said it himself, Richard, when he was arguing with Monica, it's like you people that came back, you don't. I liked his one bit of dialogue when he said, "You don't know what it took to keep the lights on." That's a line of a person in a comic book that I'm not saying would be anti-mutant, but pro-human.
Right.
It's like we didn't need you superhero people. We did it on our own. And you're absolutely right, Richard. I think you might be balls on, Rich, because when we saw that one factory in the first couple episodes when Monica came back of S.W.O.R.D., dude, we saw a factory that was pretty goddamn big,
and plus, when Wanda broke in to steal Vision's body, you got to see the vault and everything and all that other stuff, and it did look like some kind of weapons manufacturer place. So. And sword, they're calling themselves Sword, so sword is a weapon. I mean, what else? The W stands for.
And you're absolutely right, Richard. I can see him. Well, he's already showed it. He's the guy that's going to say, we humans need a way to protect ourselves against these maybe not mutants. We don't have those, but we need to protect ourselves from these super powered people
and alien invasion because New York was attacked. We had an alien on this universe. They had an invasion in New York where aliens came through a wormhole and basically devastated New York, And
he would see it too the Avengers took care of it, but what happens when the Avengers aren't there? Like they're not now. Thor's gone, Cap's gone, Iron Man's dead,
Yeah.
We need to take care of ourselves, and what better way to take care of ourselves than giant robots?
Mecha.
Oh man,
Kaijus are coming.
One thing I got to touch on, we'll start at the beginning of the episode, but the one thing I got to touch on, Richard, because I love me some Jimmy Woo. I love Jimmy, dude. We got to see him kick ass. We got to see Wu be an ass kicker. I'm sorry, but when he took down those S.W.O.R.D. agents, dude, that wasn't like some goofy, like, oops, I tripped and fell. No, he went into full, I am a trained FBI agent. It's time to kick. I mean, he was just like, okay. Wow.
And I love Darcy stepped back and goes, you could have let me know what's going on.
Why did you tell me let me know the plan?
Yeah.
Oh, Rich.
What?
No, your idea. whatever, we still don't know for sure what it was that Darcy found in his like super encrypted protected firewall file.
Yeah. There had to be something bad, something to do with Vision too, because I think she knew it had to do with Vision, because she knew Vision was trying to go through that spot, so she went right to that spot.
And think about it, Richard. Vision is an autonomous, for a lack of a better word, robot.
Right.
Well, the director's like, Vision's a great idea. Let's make him 4 stories tall. Oh man, but dude,
pine particles. Just let's get some pine particles and grow them. Oh.
And again, another reason why to love Darcy is like, oh look, it's the man that was almost murdered by his murder squad.
Yeah, our CWN 18 says, yeah, sounds like Hammer. Yeah, it does.
It does. I hope it's Hammer, because then everything will fall apart. Remember Sam? He was like, "Oh, I'm breaking out the Widowmaker." Pink. But there was a huge vacuum. When Tony's dead, so we have actually no idea what happened to Stark Industries. Which, Richard, God bless the internet, because I didn't catch it the first 2 times I watched it. The drone, the 80s drone that flew into the Hex.
Right.
Stark Industries.
Oh, yeah.
I will be the first to admit, I didn't catch that. Which, that would explain doubly why it pissed off Wanda doubly. First of all, you send a drone with a rocket into my backyard, and you have the nerve to make it from Stark, who blew up my house the first time? Oh man.
But I just think this is going in a good direction, and I just hope that they can just keep this up, because, and then, like I said, we're only going to get a week off in between, and we get Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, but it says they're only going to have 6 episodes.
I heard 6, but I heard those might be hour-long episodes.
Though. Yeah. Oh, I even heard that the last 3 of Wanda is going to be hour-long too.
I was just getting ready to, yeah.
So this is going to be fun the next couple weeks. 3 weeks, I should say.
But another thing we have to give props to was the fact that this episode was flat out Malcolm in the Middle. It was flat out Malcolm in the Middle, from the 90s rock music, which, by the way, Richard, and I recommended this to the guys at Alter Ego too. I watch everything with subtitles because I'm hard of hearing and I can't. If you haven't watched this episode with subtitles, go back and rewatch it with subtitles for the lyrics to the opening, the WandaVision.
Yeah. It's dark.
Ooh, it's dark. Because the first time through, I actually wasn't, I was focused on it. I wasn't reading the subtitles. But the second time, I was like, did I hear wait a minute. And I rewound it, and I'm like reading the subtitles, and I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, she's losing her mind. She is losing her mind.
And when Petra was there, I was telling him was taunting her and stuff. Would you love that part when he goes to the twins, go kick ass?
I appreciated that nod so much, because not only did the kids say it, but after they speed off, what other reason then for it to be an Easter egg did Wanda have, a reason to say kick ass?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, did you catch? He goes, "You're hellings."
You're helling. Yeah, you're
for the kids.
Yeah.
He called them that.
He called him that, and then he even referred to them as demon spawn. Remember, he's like, "Go forth, demon spawn."
So to me, I still think he's the devil. I really think that's.
You know what? Honestly, Richard, at this point, I can't. Anything. Literally anything is possible. The only one thing I wish they would have done, Richard.
Okay.
And I talked about it with Alex and Jared today. The only thing I wish they would have done that would have literally made people like us piss our pants was Remember that great moment when Wanda turns and she sees Pietro, dead with the bullet holes?
Right.
If it would have been the original actor.
Oh, wow. That would have been cool.
Think about that for a minute. If they'd have gotten him just for that one moment.
I bet he cost too much. Or well, they could have done like the what's that one app like you use to put your face on other stuff.
Oh, the face swap? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee it would have been. They couldn't have done any worse than what they did with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. Like, come on, man. Come on, you can't tell me that was some Superman mustache level. The face swap app would have done better. Like if they'd have just took a picture of Mark Hamill from, but no, I see why they didn't, but that would have been effing mind blowing if they would have got Aaron. Ooh, I think. Well, if they would have gotten the original actor to just do that scene,
right,
just to really drive home the fact that she's. But you're right.
But maybe she's not changing. That's the whole thing. Maybe she's not doing it. Maybe, like you said, that's the outside force, and that's why they didn't do that. Because if they did that, that would be Wanda doing it. But maybe it's not Wanda doing it because she acted surprised when he showed up at the door.
And you're absolutely right, Richard, because a lot of people's first speculation that it was, again, because we've seen the way her subconscious has been slipping stuff out there, that maybe it was her subconscious, and maybe the reason why. It's just like she didn't remember it right, or was just like, how sometimes you remember stuff wrong, or, we all remember stuff wrong.
Yeah. Like Radio Shack's really closing. They're still around. Oh.
Dude, be careful saying Radio Shack. I'm not kidding you, Richard. 3 days after we had this discussion, Instagram, I started getting advertisements for Radio Shack.
Okay, Bob.
And at first I was like, cool. And then I'm like, I was just like, I mean, we all know our phones are listening to us, but I'm like, you weren't even being subtle about it. You know what I mean?
They've been having great sales though.
Oh, I saw this thing with a really great. Oh,
I get emails left and right now.
Oh, we could do an entire episode, Richard. Maybe that's a future. Maybe that's what we'll talk about during the week between WandaVision and Falcon. We'll just talk about Radio Shack. But no, you're right, Richard, because it's very obvious that Pietro knows everything. Like he's not even pretending.
And he kept taunting her, which I thought was like really crazy. That's why I go, nope, I think I'm right. That's not the brother. That's something else.
Because the one scene, Richard, and I rewound it, and then they ended up showing it again later on, was when Wanda and Pietro are talking, and she goes, "What happened to your accent?" And he got what happened to yours?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He didn't even have to think about it, man. He was ready for that crack. And then I rewound it to watch it again, and then like a minute later, they showed Darcy and him going.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then they replayed it, and I'm like,
so they wanted us to make sure we heard that.
Mm-hmm.
The director, the writers, directors, whatever. They wanted to make sure that was emphasized, that things aren't what they seem to be. That's how I'm getting this. I think all this is not exactly what it's supposed to be.
Right. The only one thing, Richard, that I could think of that would, like you, Richard, I've kind of given up on it being a multiverse version of Pietro, but the only thing that I can think of that still solidified it is when he was telling stories of like, oh, this is worse than the costumes that Mom made us when we had typhoid or something. And they had that flashback, and she's like, I don't remember it that way.
Right.
Maybe that Pietro does remember it that way, or
or he's just sending a bunch of BS.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, Richard, that blew my mind this episode, and I legitimately, it's not that I don't know what to think. I don't know how to think it anymore, because I had an idea of what was going on with Agnes. I still think that she is Agnes Hartgrave, but
really
but before, honest to God, Richard, before this episode, I thought she was fully aware of what was going on.
Yeah, and she doesn't. So
she doesn't. That scene in the car. That scene in the car.
She's just a normal human, as far as it looked like, because you're one of the Avengers and you're dead. You know, it was like her mind snapped, you know.
Oh, yeah, because her first thought was, am I dead?
Right, yeah.
And that was great, too, where it's just like, am I dead? And I was like, why? He's like, no, because you are. And I like that. And I like that exchange, too, where she's like, but you're an Avenger. You're Vision. You're in the Avengers. And Vision's like, what's an Avenger? It was like,
yeah.
Oh.
So he doesn't have like memory or something, you know. So,
well, Vision even said himself that he doesn't have any memories before Westgate.
Yeah, Westgate. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I say Westgate, I think I'm saying it wrong because we have where we're from, we have Westgate Bowling Alley. So when I think, every time I see Westgate, I think of Thunder Alley Bowling and, you know, the old pool hall. But, you know, but yeah.
Another thing, though, you know, about Petro, he's only listed to be in next episode. Then he's not there anymore. So his story arc must be ending this next episode. So.
But his exchange with her, I mean, not only is he fully aware of it, he voiced that he's impressed by it. And I love how he flat out asked her, how did you've come a long, well, God damn it, Richard, because the way he asked, he goes, you've come a long way from giving people nightmares, which is a direct reference to Age of Ultron. You've come a long way from giving people nightmares, and your little, he even said the word, what was it, like diddly bobs or fiddly bits, or, you know, it was something cheeky, you know, like, and shooting fiddly bobs from your fingertips, you know.
Yeah.
And we learned she has no idea.
Yeah, so something must be going on to influence all this, you know.
And you're absolutely right, Richard. Wanda may be responsible for what's going on, but Wanda's not. How do I put this? She's the driving force by everything, but she's not responsible. You're absolutely right, Richard. Somebody might be pushing her buttons. You know what I mean?
Right. I was just, so what did you really think of her outfit and the Vision's outfit? You know, that was crazy.
Don't even get me started on her Wanda outfit, Richard, because no, dude, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I rewound that scene of her walking in. I'm sorry, I do not apologize for the fact that she looked smoking hot in that outfit. And when she come walking down the steps, I'm like, oh, no, yeah.
And the crazy thing about the Visions too, you know, a wrestler, the Mexican wrestler.
Oh, really, Gusto. Oh, I knew you had a thing.
Oh, go ahead. But I was just going to say his tennis shoes, the Converses, the yellow Converses.
Oh, shit. Well, the other thing, too, was it was another moment where Vision slipped, because when she said something about the costume, he made the reference, and he was really deadpan about it. It's like, this was the only thing in the closet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She
and then he's like, and then he shook out of it like, you know, he went back into sitcom mode.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And what about the twins and their costumes?
When Tommy came dressed, when he was flat out Wiccan, I was, dude, they weren't even subtle about it. You know what I mean? It was, he had the head.
Yeah, because he had that all through the whole show, you know. That was crazy, you know. Because as soon as I saw that, I'd go, yeah, that's it, you know.
The only thing, and I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it was one of the first times that they kind of slipped out of the theme of the particular sitcom. Because remember at the beginning of the episode, you know, we got the Malcolm in the Middle intro, but then we saw Tommy and
Billy?
the other brother, Richard. God, Jesus, help me out.
Billy.
Yeah. Billy. They saw them still talking directly into the camera, much like Malcolm did.
Yeah, that was supposed to be it, but they broke the fourth wall. Yeah.
But then it stopped. It just, like when Tommy and Billy were, trick or treating, they never went back into Malcolm in the Middle mode and like talked to the camera.
Yeah, until Tommy saw where Vision was being hurt, and he had that somewhere in between, because he knew something else was going on because he was aware of beyond the dome. You know what I'm saying? So, because he was outside the dome, and and that to him it's his dad. So he was relaying back and stuff. So, sort of like the comic, but
Yeah. And what about that? Well, here's another great example, Richard, of how Wanda's starting to lose. Well, we know she's losing touch, but it's like she's losing control because when she was talking to Frankenstein, Todd or I can't remember his name. The neighborhood watch guy.
Oh, okay. That was Herb. Right?
Herb, thank you, Rick.
Yeah,
Herb.
yeah.
When he's talking to Wanda, he flat out asks her, "Is everything okay? Or is there anything you want me to change?" You know what I mean? It was like he was like we saw before earlier that he's probably very aware that he's trapped in this sitcom.
Yeah, it does seem that way because he talks to her like she's in control. So, like you said, just like how Agnes knows that Wanda's so they must have a little bit of their original memory tapped in with what Wanda's put in their mind or whoever's put in their mind.
Well, I like when Pietro mentioned to her that, when he asked her about the kids, did you, like Pietro's fully aware that they're in a sitcom. Because like when he asked her, he's like, well, what did you do with the kids? Did you just keep them like, in your bed because, like she's doing it, but she's doing it very humanely. And he goes, you even kept, like relationships together. Like married couples are still married couples. And, people's personalities still aren't very far off from what they were originally like.
Right.
Like Pietro flat out was just like, hey, I know this is a show. How are you working the show? Like he wanted to know how she's doing the show.
Yes. So that's how I don't know. I just think what I'm thinking is going to be what they're going to run with. At least I hope,
And what about that scene, Richard, when Vision's walking through town and he starts to get on the outskirts where...
Oh, yeah, they're all real slow. Yeah.
Dude, that one scene with the woman that was hanging the ghost repetitively and you just saw the tear.
Right.
Dude.
So she's aware of everything. See, that's what I think. I think they're all aware, but they just they can't do anything but what Wanda wants,
And since they're so far away from Wanda, she doesn't have their attention. So they're kind of like on autopilot. They're like literal NPCs in a video game. Yeah. They're literally just there acting towards program. Like your background character, just be in the background. I'm not giving you dialogue. I'm not giving you a story, but I need you hanging, So yeah, she's there and she's doing what Wanda's telling her, but Wanda's not giving her enough attention to flesh out her character, as it is.
To make her real.
And the farther out that Vision got, the worse it got, because when he got to that one cul-de-sac where it was literally just people standing there, they weren't doing anything,
Reminded me a little bit like Westworld, like when they don't need them, they're off to the side and they're ready to go type thing, so they can just bring them in and they become part of the scene and stuff. I'm talking about the older Westworld, not the HBO revision. But that's kind of what they did in. I think it was more Future World, where they had the androids off to the side,
Yeah, it's like they go. Exactly, Rich. It's like everybody outside of a certain radius goes into default mode where it's just like...
Yeah.
Which would explain, Richard, that ties into with Gerald. Well, with Geraldine. Geraldine was a background character who in Wanda's mind, didn't have any lines or anything until Wanda acknowledged her and then brought her into the story.
Right.
She made a background character. I'm going old sitcom. She made a background character, a supporting character.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like on all those.
Yeah, because Agnes disappeared there when she kind of replaced Agnes for a while.
Yeah. It's kind of like, Richard, me and you are the same age. We remember the old sitcoms where, like Cheers is a perfect example. They always had like the same extras in the bar sitting in the background, but they never spoke. But every once in a while, like Sam Malone would go over to Chuck, patron number 5, sitting by the dartboard, like, hey, is everything? And they give Chuck like a line of dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's sort of like Seinfeld. You had those third tier characters that was there, like the soup Nazi guy that ran the soup kitchen, or not the he started out as yeah. Of course, I don't know. I never did care for Seinfeld. Sorry.
But you know what? If I would have loved to have seen, Richard, if they keep going with the sitcom,
right?
Like we see a cafe in Westview and we just hear the Seinfeld music, and there's Vision and Wanda and Geraldine, sitting at the cafe, and that would be oh my God, Richard! That would be the episodes. That would be the title of the episode, Richard. The episode about nothing.
Yeah.
It's a show about nothing,
That's what this is anyhow. Oh.
But going back to, Darcy got screwed so hard this episode.
Hey,
Darcy
love me.
Well, Darcy was the first to figure out that being outside of the hex was killing Vision, and she's like, she just short of said push him back in. She's like, help him. Then the poor girl gets handcuffed to a Jeep, and then everybody else is just like, I'm out. And like, seriously?
Or they get turned into a clown. Oh.
I'm dying to know what happens to Darcy. Maybe
she'll be one of those trapeze artists.
Well, wait a minute. Everybody kind of went off of what they were. Darcy was handcuffed to a truck. Oh my God, how could Wanda's subconscious interpret that, Like when they showed the soldiers became clowns.
Right.
And the military tents became circus tents.
Right.
The one that really gave me a chuckle was when the helicopter became the hot air balloon.
Right. Yeah.
Like that was good.
And Darcy's in the last 3 episodes, so she's still around. So.
And I looked it up too, Richard. Darcy doesn't get a. She doesn't get a WandaVision name. She doesn't become, Marcy.
Maybe she doesn't change. Maybe because of her
being so close to
her mental status is maybe because she's more than just a lackey. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she stays Darcy.
I can see that. Another thing to talk about, Richard. What did you think about the commercial this episode?
Oh, being the animated stuff, yeah.
How effing dark was that? And I think I figured it out, Richard. I mean, it wasn't like it was too hard,
right?
But we've established that all of the people in Westgate are real people, and they do what Wanda has pretty much programmed them to do, right?
Right.
Richard, do you really think Wanda's gone to the trouble to remind everybody to eat? I'm serious, Richard. Think about it. I mean, look at all the old sitcoms. like you always saw the family maybe sit down to dinner, but like how often in like Happy Days did you see them actually eating, even when they were at Ralph's Diner, how often did you see them actually, stuffing a cheeseburger in their face?
Ralph did.
Well, Ralph did. But think about it, Richard.
I'm just joking. Yeah, no one ever really ate. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And think about it, Richard. All those people that are so far outside of Wanda's influence that they're just, frozen like this.
Yeah.
They have to be starving, Richard. They're still human beings.
Yeah.
And it's been a what in their timeline, Richard, like at least a few days has legitimately
that, I'm pretty sure, because it's probably a little bit longer than that, who knows?
Because I kind of got the impression that like every day was a day. You know what I mean?
Like every episode.
Yeah.
Well, it's time runs different in there too, because remember how it's like dark on the outside and it changes inside.
True. Yeah.
It could. I don't know.
Okay, ballpark. Let's say 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hungry. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's why I really think that commercial, because you saw this person who was starving and they were given, like the little thing of what was it, like yogurt,
right?
But they couldn't open it. And it kind of reminded you the way he was trying to open it was kind of like the way that the people in the background, like the woman with the tear could only move, like this.
Yeah.
So the idea that I think they're planting is that they're on a timeline because the longer this show plays out, the more these people are going to literally starve to death.
Or it could be the time jump too.
But that commercial was dark.
Yeah. They don't get back to the live. They don't get back to the live actors until one more episode. So. Because I've been following that. I actually went through and found that Victoria Blade that plays the actress that plays the female in the commercials. Yeah, it's Victoria Blade. I went to her Instagram. She's a pretty good singer.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like this last couple of weeks I've been looking because I went through. I know this is totally off of WandaVision, but you'll appreciate this. I don't even know. Do you know? It has to do with Smallville. The one that plays Supergirl. She goes by Super Vady on Instagram.
Laura Vandervoort.
Right. And I do her Instagram, and she went live the other day, right? So I go, I wonder what she's doing. I don't usually do that too often, but she was live, clicked on it. She was actually on the one that played Lex Luthor's feed. He brought her into his Instagram feed. He's got a band. Did you know he has a band?
He's had.
I figured you did, but they were doing a live concert.
Yeah, I sadly, Richard, I know exactly what you're. I got to give props where props are due. I listen to Michael Rosenbaum Inside of You.
Right.
I listen to his podcast every week. It is legitimately, Richard, it's really good.
And it just threw me off there. I'm going, whoa, he's really playing the guitar.
Yes, he is.
And she was just loving it. And I'm going, okay, I'm going through the rabbit hole one more time. I clicked on his Instagram and then went through the rabbit hole.
Dude, you want to know Michael Rosenbaum? Let me tell you. But no, his first band was called Left on Laurel. He started a new band here recently. I can't remember the name of it, but he's good.
Because the one that plays Supergirl, Super Vady, she's backing these women that's doing this comic book, and they're kickstarting right now. And I thought she was on their kickstart thing, is what it was. But here she was on his Instagram, and I about died. I sat and watched it. It was really good. He sat and did all that stuff.
Rosenbaum, because I follow Rosenbaum on Instagram and on Facebook too. Just today, Richard, he almost made me piss my pants because I think he did like the face swap app, but he did it to have a bald head, and he's like, "Hey, I'm John Cryer. Look at me. Hi, I'm John. How you doing, John Cryer?" And what was really great about it, Richard, was Tom Welling, proper Tom Welling, underneath it commented, "You're no." He goes, "You're no Lex Luthor." And I was like, "Oh snap! Shots fired!"
Oh, jeez. But and speaking of like face swapping, they're kicking off G4 again, right? Have you been seeing all that stuff? Did you see Kevin Pereira's? Hilarious. And he's officially back. He's on Attack of the Show.
Yeah.
He signed the contract. He's back.
Yep.
It's like, whoa, and what's his name from X-Play? He's back.
Yep.
It's like, oh, G4 is really going to launch. They're getting there.
Yeah.
Because they were making fun of the Esquire channel.
Oh, yes, they were. Yeah, they were, man. Oh, yeah, they were.
It's not going to be the Esquire channel.
I still wish, Richard. Well, they probably won't because G4 is coming back. But that was one of the things that always kind of disappointed me. Like I don't know who owns the rights. I'm sure it's like G4 themselves. But like you couldn't find any episodes anywhere. Like I can go on Amazon and find like the entire run of At Midnight with Chris Hardwick, or shows like that. There was no place to. I mean, I don't care if it was like early '90s and they were like, "Hey, what was their Tech Watch? We're going to be talking about the Xbox."
You mean late '90s? They weren't on during the early '90s. They came on late '90s. Yeah.
No, Richard, this is a true story. I think I even showed you, Richard. This was back when I lived in the apartments in Elida.
Oh, okay.
It was back before the flat screen TVs that we have now.
Right.
I think I showed this to you, Richard. I watched G4 so much that the G4 logo had burned itself. I'm not playing, Richard. Stacy was so pissed because she realized it one day because the screen went. I didn't turn the screen off, but the screen went black, And she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "What?" And I looked at it, and we had to wait for the screen to go black again. And I'm like, "What is that?" And then I turned it on G4, and it was like it filled in the blank, and I'm like, "Oh, shit." The G4 logo was burned into my television set. Oh man.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty cool to get them back. Because I've been watching that Ven channel that's like on the internet that does all the gaming stuff, kind of like what they used to do. They got like a round table. They sit there and do stuff. I can't think of her name. She's the one that is called Download, is their version of Attack of the Show, but they don't do funny stuff. It's more serious, and they just teamed up with a esports network or something. So they're going in that direction. So it's going to be pretty cool. But let's see, what was there? I went blank on what I was going to say with that. I was going in a different direction with the G4 stuff because, like I said, it looks like they're going to bring back everything they used to do on G4. Except maybe I hope they really don't do cops.
Yeah, we don't need no. Didn't they even? It was either cops or I think it was Cheaters, Richard, where they kind of did a joke about it was like. I can't remember if it was a meme, but I remember seeing something about it where it was like they were talking about G4 and like Cheaters was trying to get into the room and they're like, no, not you. No.
That was during the Christmas special, wasn't that they did? I think they did that. I think that was the joke on the Christmas special.
That might have been it.
But no, I just hope, can't wait to get this week's episode, and then we just got a couple more weeks and then we start getting the new Superman. So we're going to have some good stuff coming up.
Yeah. And we were, again, when I was at the comic book store, Richard, you'll appreciate this conversation. We were talking about comic books and how it seems like here lately, it's almost like DC's trying too hard and they're failing because we were talking about, remember I mentioned to you the Future State books?
Right.
You know, but it was Alex who made a really good point, Richard, and I'd never really thought about it before from a comic book point of view. one of the main differences between DC and Marvel is, and especially it seems like that way now, is DC has always been, this is Superman with Clark Kent, this is Batman with Bruce Wayne, where Marvel is, this is a Peter Parker story and he's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? They put
okay.
Their stories always put the real life alter ego first.
Right. Yeah. 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 Because that was Stan Lee. That's how Stan Lee wrote everything.
Yeah.
It was that dorky kid in high school trying to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. And when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, that's like it's a broad generalization, but it kind of fits. You know, Spider-Man, even Captain America was always about Steve Rogers.
Yeah, relating to coming out of the ice when they first started during that 60s stuff. And then even Fantastic Four, they were a bunch of misfits. They were a family of misfits.
They were family first,
yeah,
superhero second. And that's like Peter Parker. Peter Parker is Peter Parker is Peter Parker first, Spider-Man second.
Right.
But DC has always been like the opposite. It's always Superman comes first, little bit of Clark's story.
Yeah.
Batman's completely different because let's just, yeah. There is no Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is the mask, that's, well, they've even directly said it, Bruce Wayne is the mask, but.
I saw like a meme, there's like how many billionaires out there right now? Why aren't any of them Batman?
I know exactly. Yeah, you're telling me we have 24 people that fit into the billionaires club, and not one of them has turned into Batman. Like, come on. But again,
you never know.
It kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Richard, with Batwoman. Was we're seeing more of a focus so far, and Black Lightning's the same way. We're seeing more of an emphasis on the alter ego, and the superhero comes second.
Right.
Which here was what my point was. I'm sorry I went a roundabout way. Was when we were talking about that. That's what Superman and Lois feels like. Is like they're doing Clark and Lois as the main story. Yeah. And Superman is in the back, not the background, but Superman isn't it's
the consequences.
Yes.
Superman is a consequence of Clark Kent being an alien, but he's family first, then he is Superman then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is I think one of the things that I really hope the show succeeds, but I think that's going to be one of the things that is going to make it really good, Richard, is it's going to be Clark, Lois, and the kids.
Yeah.
Superman, like you said, is a consequence,
Yeah. Until he pushes the one kid that's got the powers off the roof, and he falls. Oh, wait, that's the other show. All right. Wait till season 3 that comes out. We'll have a lot to talk about.
Oh man, I really wish I had a glass of milk right now, Richard. I would.
You're sick.
Oh man. But no, that's how we got on that subject. Was we were talking about comic books and how DC's been kind of dropping the ball lately, because they're not character oriented as much as Marvel characters are, and that's why they always come up short.
Well, they're the alter ego. They're not alter ego driven. They're actually, the actual persona. They're
right.
But DC went for a while was trying to put other people into the characters too.
Yeah.
They had a different person be Batman. Because Bruce Wayne, there were a couple different times had his back broken or he disappeared or stuff like that. Someone else stepped up, but at the same time it didn't work and it went away. Even Dick Grayson stepped up to be Batman for a while. Like after he disappeared with the whole, and that was I love that.
That was dude. I'm sorry. I will go on record right now saying that the run where Dick Grayson was Batman and Damian Wayne was Robin was my favorite story arc in Batman history. I loved the two of them together.
I mean, we talked how many episodes about that back then? We did quite a few.
Rich, when Bucky took over as Captain America.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, again, Bucky Cap. That storyline, I think was it Ed Brubaker?
Yeah, it was Ed Brubaker, yeah.
Oh, give me that any damn day of the week. Oh man.
Well, that's going back to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Are they going to be a combine of both of those? Because in the trailer he catches the shield and he sits there and he looks like the part.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
That moment, because especially when we saw like the earliest teasers, when Sam's first, like you can see he's practicing with the shield, like he lobs it at the tree.
Yeah.
I really do, Richard. I hope that's not just a montage. I really want to see Sam have to learn to use that shield.
Right.
He's human.
Yeah, you just can't jump in and do it. I mean, he was a soldier, he was trained, but he was trained in a flight suit. He had some hand-to-hand combat training to be able to do what he does, but the flight suit was what his whole thing was. At least that's how I interpret it from the movies.
Yeah, the one scene I really hope they do, Richard, because they kind of showed it a little bit, was Sam's no stranger to using a shield. We've seen him more than once use his wings as a shield, right?
Right.
Age of Ultron, and they showed it in the trailer too. They're firing the machine guns at him, and he's got the wing. I want to see Sam holding the shield, but he's still using the wings as a shield when it dawns on him. Oh shit! I got a shield right here, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, but those two, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, they have chemistry. That's one of the things I think is going to make this show really good. Is they have chemistry. We saw that in Civil War, in that moment where they're sitting in that car.
Right.
The first time I saw that scene with them sitting in that car, I wanted more of the two of them together. Can you move your seat? No. I was like, God damn it.
But yeah, like I said, we got a bunch of stuff coming up. This is a weird week where we got a little touch of something new that's coming out, but at the same time, in WandaVision, this week's episode was good, but it was kind of like almost a filler episode in a way. It gave us a lot of hints, but it wasn't really,
It was like the volleyball setup, Richard.
Yeah.
Where this episode, it had enough action because you got to see the person jump and put the ball up in the air, but the next episode is going to be the spike.
Yeah, it's what's going to happen. I just think it's going to. I don't want to see it like totally in, but I have a feeling that these like things are just going to start. They must still have her. Oh, what do you call it? The Westgate must still be under her bubble for most of the whole series because, like I said, what's her name's credited to be Geraldine for the next 3 episodes. So I mean, just going by that could be wrong too. A lot of times they do stuff just to throw you off, but I don't know. Can they make 3 hours last before this is over?
I know.
It seems like we're at that point where we're at that peak and everything's going to start, but we still got 3 episodes, so.
It makes me wonder too, Rich, and I'm sure it was that they planned it this way, but remember like a week or so ago when everybody was going nuts because I found out the story, Richard, that I think it was the actor that did like the Spanish dub of the show, for when they broadcast it overseas.
Yeah.
It was that actor who did the voiceover is the one that leaked that Pietro, that Evans was coming back.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember everybody like unanimously, like on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram was just like, don't you do it. Don't you know what I mean? The spoiler was out there. And there was a rumor for a few days that they were actually going to put 2 episodes out the same night because of spoilers. So I wonder if they didn't do it on purpose. Like maybe it was supposed to be each, episode was supposed to be 2 episodes, and maybe they crammed them together because it's just like, look, man, we can't fight spoilers anymore.
Right.
So, instead of increasing the chances of a bunch of stuff getting spoiled, let's just double up the last few.
That could be.
Probably not. I mean, they probably knew it from the beginning that, it was going to be 6 episodes and then 3, full-length episodes. But, dude, I don't know if I'm mentally and emotionally ready for an hour-long WandaVision.
No, I'd rather have a half hour myself. I like these half hours, but I've always liked the shorter, to-the-point stuff, I don't know. I guess my attention span is so small now. I'd rather have everything done in 10 minutes.
I'm talking emotionally, Richard. A half hour of WandaVision, and my brain is firing every synapses. Double that. Like, how much stuff is going to be coming at us after an hour's worth?
I'm like, if we do have an episode next week, probably won't, because there's circumstances, life get in the way. But man, the following week, if we have to talk about 2 episodes and they're hour long, and we already talked for 2 hours about an episode, we're going to have a 5-hour episode.
What's going to happen, Richard, is I'm going to. Oh my God! Well, see, here's the great thing about WandaVision, Richard, is I've talked about it on the show before. I end up watching each individual episode at least a minimum of 3 times because. Well, I watch it Friday morning before I go to work because I don't want anything spoiled. And then when I come home from work, I watch it again so I can kind of, delve into it deeper. And then, Saturdays, we do the show at 8:00, and I've got time to kill. I'll refresh my memory and watch it again. Dude, I'm gonna be burnt out by the time
Have you seen online what's playing at the movie theater?
I haven't looked.
I can't. It's too blurry. I can't get a good still from it. It's all blurred out. At first, I thought it said The Incredibles.
The Incredibles and The Parent Trap.
Is that The Parent Trap? Okay, that makes sense. The bottom one I couldn't make out. Every time I screen grabbed it, I couldn't get it to look clean enough.
Which, if you want to go deep into the rabbit hole, Richard, deep into the rabbit hole. Yeah. I mean, yes, granted, they both are Disney movies that were probably, but Incredibles, movie about a family of superheroes.
Right. Yeah.
Parent Trap, story about twins.
Yeah.
Who were trying to get their parents back together.
Right. Yeah.
And, we're seeing Vision and Wanda.
Well, it makes total sense. I got the first part, but I couldn't make the bot. I thought it said parent, but I didn't think about Parent Trap because it was all blurred out. I couldn't see it good enough. And of course, I know you got your TV because I don't watch it on my TV. I watch it on my iPad. That's the biggest I watch it. I'm actually laying on the floor watching it.
Oh, dude, I've gotten so bad with WandaVision that what was it? It was when Darcy was in the computer place. Can we stop doing the one thing I ask of all television shows? I don't care how smart a person is. I fully believe that Darcy is an expert in her field. I have no argument there. She is the top. Why is everybody a hacker?
They're not. Trust me. I have a friend that works at BP up in Cleveland, and they have a lot of scientists in their department and stuff. They know enough to mess up their PCs. And that's it. That's it. And he tells them all the time to say, no, don't work on your own PC. Call us. We know what we're doing. Because they mess it up even worse.
I don't care if she's got 9 PhD. Why does everybody have to be a hacker? And not only is she a hacker, okay, I could buy that. It's like, oh, I hacked into that dude's Instagram account, or I can hack. But this is Sword.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying, but it makes her really cool though in my mind.
Yeah,
It sets her up. But you're right, But I know reality. Scientists aren't all computer hackers.
yeah.
Because I know he used to complain because I was at the one game one time. This has been a while back, so he's probably not there anymore at VP. I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I'm saying. He was telling me about those guys doing stuff, and he says they mess them up so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one level of disbelief. Richard, I have no problem imagining that we have a synthezoid walking around, that we have a superpowered mutant, but the fact that, and this is not, I am saying this, it is not a knock against Darcy. I love her. She's a genius. She's a hacker. Come on, man. Not everybody is a hacker.
Yeah, it's not the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That's fantasy.
What would have made it better though, Richard, is if like she goes, I just stole his laptop and it hasn't logged out yet. You know what I mean? Give me one, like she swiped his laptop and it hasn't gone into sleep mode yet. That's why she had to hang around. No, I have to stay on this computer or I'll go into sleep mode and you'll need his password. Jesus, at least in the movie, I'm going there, Richard. At least in the movie Ready Player One, they didn't hack into Sorrento's lab. He saw his password.
Yeah.
The dumbass wrote his password on a Post-it note. They didn't hack into his computer. They had his password.
Yeah.
Ooh, which by the way, Richard, we'll make this an even hour and a half. I wanted to mention real quick. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I've been reading Ready Player 2.
Oh yeah.
Wow. If anybody's interested in reading the book, if you really like the first book, the first few chapters are ridiculously slow. All it is it's telling about Wade Watts' life after, becoming a owning, but once the story picks up, it's almost like, like this chapter.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've been really enjoying it. Just wanted to throw that out there because I thought about Sorrento, but not everybody needs to be a damn hacker. But I'm interested in finding out, what she found out. And going back, Richard, I think we're onto something about that being the actual Mind Stone, because how else do you explain, why does I believe that he has super strength, he can fly, he can phase his molecules, but this number right here, Richard, that's not a Vision synthesoid power.
And like even during like the magic show, there was illusions to the Mind Stone. Remember? Yeah. So who knows?
But that was one great thing about this episode, Richard, it took a lot of the things that in my head I was for certain about and just went, nah, bro. Like Agnes, man, that scene in the car. It's like, we're not even, oh my God, when Agnes said we're not even allowed to think about escaping. And it was like, God, yeah. And that was the one bit of dialogue I wish they would have gave the director, because they did it. They showed it again in the flashback. Was when the sword agents are confronting Wanda, like, you have an entire town hostage, and she's like, you're the one pointing guns at me. Like she's trying to justify it, but the director should have just been like, we're pointing guns at you because you have a town hostage.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the town hostage, we wouldn't be pointing the guns at you.
Right.
Well,
that's where I was saying, I think all this has to do with Sword being there set up to go after extraterrestrials, superhero beings, or super beings, because there's probably other villains and stuff, besides just the superheroes out there. Because what was going on like during the void, like during that 5 years, who was left? I mean, there wasn't that many left, so was there villains trying to do stuff? Was there You know,
Which again, Richard, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with Hawkeye. I really want it to be set in that 5-year period.
right. That way we can see what happened. I mean, I would like to see what happened during that time frame, you know.
And it makes the most sense, Richard, because, okay, we know that Clint has a wife and kids. He has a baby.
Yeah.
That's okay, honey. You go run off with that teenage girl and teach her to be, you know, a superhero, you know.
So I wonder how that affected when they came back. I wonder how he found them or what's going to happen there. You know, maybe that's how they could end the series. Him finding his family after they come back.
No, Richard, we know that already because remember it was in Endgame after Hulk did the
that's
snap.
right. It was
phone
there.
rang.
That's right. It was there.
Rang.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We could see it all over again, though. That'd be a good way to end the series.
Yeah.
Of course, then it would not leave it hanging open so they could have a sequel.
No, I wouldn't. You know what I would have loved to have heard, Richard? And I wish somebody would dub over the voice because think about it. From his wife and kids' point of view, they just rematerialized, right? They have, well, we saw it with Marie in the hospital. She had no idea time passed. Right. So she gets on the phone with Clint. That's what Clint heard on the phone. Honey, where the shit are you? We were just making hamburgers. Where the hell are you? We were just making hamburgers. Where, you know? But I really genuinely hope that Hawkeye, the series, takes place like maybe not like the minute after the snap, but like a month or so, you know.
Right. But, yeah. You got 5 years to play with, so you know.
And 5 years is a great run for. And think about it, Richard. It'd be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they wouldn't have to be worried about being tied down to, oh, what would happen if they ran into Captain America? What would happen if they, you know, because Cap's, you know, and, you know, what was he still in Wakanda at the time, you know?
Right.
So they wouldn't have to worry about, you know, like, oh, why would Clint be able to get away with this? Wouldn't Black Widow? No, she was still with the Avengers. He, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Yeah. I still want to see Black Widow too.
Oh God, man. They dropped the ball on that one so hard because now, I mean, I remember when the movie was first announced because they can't do a movie without having the toys out first. And now that market was completely blown away, so they're probably sitting on crates and crates and crates of Black Widow and yeah. So, all right, Rich. Well, let's wrap this up at the hour and a half mark. Okay. Thank you for anybody and everybody that's watching and or listening. Richard, can you please tell everybody where they can continue to do so?
Yeah, just go over to undergroundvideonetwork.com. There you can find links to all our socials. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, Twitch, and our YouTube channels. And then the audio will be available in just a little bit on all our other outlets there, like all the other outlets. We got Spotify, iHeart, and Apple Podcasts, and of course our hosting site TalkShoe.
And speaking of archives, your ass needs to warn me when you're going to post pictures from 11 years ago. Because I saw that on Instagram and I was like, I remember, and it didn't dawn on me. And I'm like, from 2010. Because in my mind, it was like 2010. It was like, that was a couple years ago. Like, no, that was 10 years ago. No, that was 11 years ago. And then nobody was there to appreciate the joke, Richard. But I'm looking at the picture, still bald-haired with a beard. I was like, look how young I looked 11 years ago. And I look exactly the same. And nobody was there to appreciate the joke. Like, oh, I look like such a baby. And I'm like, this. I looked like this.
I was just finding stuff. I do want to warn everybody for the next few weeks. I will probably be posting most of our older Gem City coverage. I think I can announce that on March the 20th and 21st will be the online version of Gem City Comic Con. I will be co-hosting with Amanda, sort of like how we did Champion City Comic Con last October. So hopefully she's going to have some more marketing promotions ready, but we can start promoting that. At least I hope. I hope I can say that.
I know.
I've been talking to her about it.
I miss cons so much, Richard. I got costumes literally collecting dust, man.
You got to make sure you got the mask ones now, you know, like you wear your helmets and stuff, you know.
I had shit worked out, bro. I had shit worked out because I have a Ghostbusters mask if I wear the Ghostbusters costume, and I was gonna find an anti-Superman one if I was gonna wear the Lex Luthor suit, you know. So, Rich, it was great talking to you. This has been my weekly, like, this has like become therapy between you and socially being responsible, visiting the comic book store. You know, it's like you go to work, you have friends, but she's like, hey, did you watch WandaVision? What's WandaVision? No. You playing video games? No. So. Again, on behalf of Richard and myself, we thank everybody for listening and watching. And now, as part of the show, it's one of my favorite times. I'm kind of stuttering because I'm giving Richard an opportunity. I'm doing it on purpose now. So, on behalf of Richard, Catterjohn, and myself, thank you for watching and listening. And Richard,